Let's get high.
Hello, cadets. What you just heard was my notebook falling to the floor. So, yes, I have to have notes now. I'm old. So, this is the Big Monster Briefing Room. And as always, I am side by side with Sergeant Major Havoc, Master Sergeant Major Havoc.
You're going to get that right one of these days, General.
One of these days. My gosh. Maybe
And we already
through rose-colored glasses.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's sharp.
Now it looks like everything's dead. So, and speaking of which, we're doing vampire movies this month, a lot of them, but actually we're celebrating Black History Month in 2026. For those of you who decades from now stumble across this. And we did Blackula and Scream, Blackula, Scream. And I decided to do Vampire in Brooklyn right after.
Kind of looks like you're drinking, speaking of vampires, looks like you're drinking blood there. What is that?
It's fruit punch. You know, I like fruit punch. That's my favorite.
Well, it seems the color seems appropriate for the movie.
Yeah, you know, why not? So this was an Eddie Murphy vehicle. Back when he was on top of everything, you know, he was riding high on movies and television and, you know, Saturday Night Live and his concerts, you know, they were on like HBO and Showtime all the time, you know.
Yep.
And my only problem with this training film is that they're not sure whether to make it a comedy or make it a scary movie. It's directed by Wes Craven.
Yeah.
You know, it's masterful at, you know, making scenes creepy and scary and, you know, with Nightmare on Elm Street and Shocker and the other movies that he's done.
Yeah. It just seems like I don't know. Yeah, there's what the movie critics call inconsistent tones in this movie.
I think it was a conflict of interest.
Maybe so, yeah. Because
I think Eddie Murphy wanted it to be scary and funny, but I didn't realize that, you know, those two usually don't go together very well.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean,
you got to be real careful with that.
Some people
the only time that they've really done it well was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. The other Abbott and Costello movies are not that great, where they have the monsters, but that one is, for some reason, it's just great.
Yep. And I was thinking something a little more modern, like what was that? The werewolf movie, the American Werewolf in London.
American Werewolf in London had some comedy in it, but it was mostly scary.
Yeah, mostly scary.
Shaun of the Dead is another good one.
Yeah.
That's scary and funny at the same time.
Scary and funny. Ghostbusters, I thought was, you know, a little bit of both. So yeah, you gotta know how to balance them. And this one, it kind of went back and forth a little too much. In fact, we got a comment here. It says it's AKA Attack of the Eddie Murphy.
He's in it a lot. I can't remember if this was the first one where he started to play multiple characters. It might have been. This might have been the first one where he actually started to play like 3, 4, or 5 characters in a movie.
Yeah.
I know it got real ridiculous with the clumps and you know, the Nutty Professor duology.
Yeah.
And there are other movies too where he played
did Coming to America Was that before this one? Because he played a couple of characters in that too.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right. Coming to America might have been right before this one.
Yeah,
And
Kofi
in that
Anderson,
one, he played different characters in the barbershop.
the barbershop, right? Yeah,
Yeah, he played his
yeah.
main
And
character, and
even
then he played like two or
what's his
three
name?
characters in
Arsenio
Buffy.
Hall played different characters too. So
Right, right.
yep.
It's Fruit Punch. That's right. I'm glad to see we've got audience members here for the show. That's awesome. I put the ad out like 5 minutes before show. Wasn't sure we were going to get an audience tonight. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But we always like to see the comments.
Yep.
And so let's get into our timeline, so we can get this thing knocked out in under an hour. It's a Paramount film. Excuse me. A little Fruit Punch burp there. Vampire in Brooklyn, right out of the gate. We get the credit. And we see a dock, the New York. Is that Manhattan dock, or is that what this is?
I think it's supposed to be like the Port of Brooklyn. Or
okay.
Port of New York. Port of New York. Yep.
There you go. And there's a ship just kind of drifting in the harbor there. And I'll tell you the best thing about this film is John Witherspoon. Very funny comedian. I actually met the man. And a very funny comedian, very funny actor. He was a really good actor. He did quite a bit on television and movies, and he was very good. And he was exceptionally good in this. He really did the scared comedy, very well.
Yeah,
and he's also kind of a jerkwad, as far as I can't remember if it's his nephew. Julius is his nephew, but he's charging him rent and he's upping the rent, stuff like that.
Yeah, Julius is the other guy. But yeah, it's his nephew.
Yeah, Julius is actually played by Kadeem Hardison. And he's very good at this. His comedy is good. I think the problem is Eddie Murphy, as he's a vampire, he's not doing as much comedy as the others in the film.
Yeah, see that I think that's the problem, is they're doing all this comedy shtick, but Murphy decided to pretty much play it straight. I mean, he's got a few jokes here and there, and of course he plays different characters, but he plays the vampire Maximilian. He played it pretty much straight. He wasn't capping it up.
You expect him to be funny because he's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why this movie didn't do very well or bombed at the box office, because
I don't think it bombed. I don't think it made the money that they wanted to make. But again, he hired a good director for Scary, and he hired good actors. And I mean, Angela Bassett has never looked or performed better than I think this film.
Yeah, she was great.
She looks great in this film, and she does a great job of acting as this lead character, Rita. So yeah, it's got a good cast, and it's got a fairly decent, simple story, So anyway, the boat travels into this dock and crashes through this dock. They're watching some TV, and the boat comes crashing up at their front door.
Yeah,
like it's coming from the Bermuda Triangle or something. Nobody's piloting it.
Yep. Very very Nosferatu, I mean, there's nods to other vampire movies.
I'll tell. Well, every Dracula film, and Nosferatu is based on Dracula.
And every Dracula
has a scene where the vampire comes usually to London on a boat. And he kills the crew. This is kind of their take on it. And of course, it just kind of crashes into the dock. And maybe whoever wrote it with Eddie Murphy helped write the film. Maybe they said, why isn't it the boat didn't crash into the dock? Because there's nobody piloting it. So that's why they did that here, I guess.
Yeah.
So Witherspoon goes on the boat. Julius ditches on him, just ditches out.
Hmm.
And of course, we got a lot of scared takes. There's everybody's got their throat ripped out or their stomach and throat ripped out, and he's seen all this, and he sees a wolf, like a large wolf on the ship, and the wolf
Hmm.
jumps over him. Amazingly, doesn't kill him. He's killed everybody else aboard the boat. And he sees the wolf's shadow against a building change into a man,
Hmm.
which again is creepy and funny because he's watching it. Bones, starring Snoop Doggy Dogg. We might do that next year for Black History Month. I actually downloaded it, so
Yeah, that'd be a
yeah,
good one.
that one and Tales from the Hood is another good
Mhm.
one. I think we should do.
You know, if we're gonna do another vampire movie, Blade. We should do Blade.
Wow, I never thought about that. The Blade trilogy. Yeah,
Hmm.
I got some good vampire stuff going on in those. Yeah.
Yep.
We might talk about those. Again, next week is Blackenstein. Just because I want to do it, it's so bad. It's a really terrible training film. Really low budget. I mean, incredibly low budget.
Hmm.
And they were just trying to cash in on Blackula, which came out the year before.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to do that one next week, and then that'll round out Black History Month. This year, 2026. We got 2027 partially planned. So again, we'll be doing Snoop Doggy Dogg next year. Sorry, you're gonna have to wait a year for it. Who knows? I might get a wild hair up my rear end and decide to just do it beforehand. I don't know. Now that I've got 3 more movies I can do. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so there's a vampire in Brooklyn now, and we meet. Julius goes back to where his girlfriend, he was staying with his girlfriend. She kicks him out.
Hmm.
Throws him out on the front step there with his clothes and everything. Very funny
Hmm.
actress. Can't remember who plays her, but this character, but very funny takes.
Hmm.
He's trying to look cool, kind of all the guys that are sitting out on the front porch there on the sidewalk, and then he looks across the street and he sees somebody he doesn't want to see. That's somebody who wants to collect money from him.
Hmm.
These are bad hombres. And ironically, they are played by Wes Craven's Nick DeMaro. I'm sorry, Nick Corey, who was in Nightmare Before Elm Street. He plays the kid that Freddy hangs in the cell in that movie. He actually goes by the name of Jesu Garcia now. That's his real name, I'm guessing. He went by Nick Corey at the time. And Mitch Pileggi, who was in Shocker. He's also better known as Skinner from the X-Files.
Yep.
But he plays the hitman, Tony, in this. And Anthony is the other one. So it's Tony and Anthony.
Hmm.
And they're about to kill Julius because he doesn't have their money. He does a great little take where he goes, "Oh yeah, I got your money," and he's patting on his suit, and it's, "Oh, Joe, I just had it. I know I had it." So they're gonna kill him, and then Eddie Murphy comes out of the dry ice. Maximilian, I should call him. His name is Maximilian.
Hmm.
So he's making all kinds of sly comments about how they should kill Julius, which Julius doesn't like. And then Michel Pileggi shoots him. Tony shoots him.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at it, it's like, wait a minute, what's AD Skinner doing there?
So yeah, so then they do the in most vampire movies they have one scene where the vampire is on his back and he just kind of floats up to being straight up on his feet.
Hmm.
And this is when this happens. He comes up out of the dry ice again, out of the fog on the ground, and they're like, he's still alive. How's this guy still alive? I just shot him like 5-6 times.
Hmm.
And he's like, I've never been shot before. And he's playing with the holes and stuff, and then they heal up. The holes heal up on him. One thing in this movie that I liked is that vampires have a kind of a magic that they do to make things appear better than they are. So it's kind of a mass hypnosis kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
Where you don't really see the vampire as he really is, which is kind of a gnarly looking bat-like kind of thing. In this case, he looks kind of like a Klingon. I'm sorry, I'm calling a spade here. He looks like
that. It's funny because that's exactly what I thought when I saw his
I'm not lying.
He looks like a
I'm
Klingon.
lying.
Yeah, well, we'll guess we'll get to see that later. But yeah,
It looks like Taserface.
Taserface. Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure that was a good choice. Anyway, so he pulls out Mitch Pileggi's heart and shows it to him before he dies, and then he kills Anthony too. And Julius, Julius runs for it. What are you going to do in a situation like that? He runs for it. So he goes into a warehouse and starts to light up a joint, and Maximilian comes busting through a window and says, "Let me light that for you." And he's got a big flame coming out of his hand, and sticky stick, vampire sticky stick. And then he says, "You're totally immorally corrupt. That's what I like about you." He decides to make him his ghoul. So he cuts his little finger there and puts a little blood on his tongue, makes him drink it. And what did you do to me? And he's a ghoul now. There was another movie that's very famous about vampires, Fright Night, that came out just before this. And nobody ever explained why the guy that guards him in the daytime is super powerful and can be shot at, but he doesn't have to. He can be out in the daylight, and it's according to this, it's because he's become a ghoul, which is a vampire's protector. And this is all the same thing with Salem's Lot with Mr. Straker. Mr. Straker looks normal,
right?
And he's out in the daytime, but he's got superhuman strength, and it takes a lot to kill him. So we finally meet Angela Bassett's character, Rita, and Justice, played by Alan Payne. They're a police team. They work homicide, and they're a team. And we learn from Joanna Cassidy, who plays their boss, Dewey, that Rita is going through some emotional problems because her mom killed herself. Her mom went insane and killed herself. And so they're worried about her. And her partner's good. He's trying to tell the boss, hey, she's fine. She's okay. She's a good cop. But then she goes on board. That comes in a minute. We have some shtick here with Witherspoon talking about how the wolf changed into a man. And, of course, Justice is not buying it. He thinks he's crazy. Crazy old coot.
Doing the flippity flop. It's an old flippity flop. It's funny. It was funny.
Again, Witherspoon is good, man. He's funny. He must have improvised half of what he did in this because he was a true stand-up comic. He worked with Eddie Murphy. He was a true stand-up comic, and he was a very funny stand-up comic. So he must have created half of what he did in the film, and it's funny. He's funny. So here we have Eddie Murphy watching from the crowd about the ship. Him and Julius have to get aboard and get his coffin. He needs his coffin. So a German Shepherd comes up, and Eddie Murphy's character skyrockets him with some kind of magic into the water.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, the animal cruelty in this film is very high.
Yeah.
As another character, he shoots a cat.
Yeah.
So that's what is the animal rights organization?
PETA?
No.
ASPCA?
ASPCA. There we go. They must have loved this film. Okay, so right after we've talked about Angela Bassett's character might be experiencing some, emotional trauma. She goes down there and she finds his coffin in the hold. She opens the coffin and she's in the coffin, and takes a little bite at herself there. So, Maximilian is watching her, and he realizes that she is kind of the chosen one, that she is a half vampire girl that he's been looking for all these years, to be his mate. Um, um, I'm not sure if he saw the same thing she did, or he just understands. I don't know. They don't make that clear. But yeah, she's having these visions, and she almost shoots her partner when he comes in, Justice. And now he's starting to worry.
He knows about Maximilian knows about her. He's searching for her specifically.
Right.
We find out about her history later on, but yeah, that's why he's stalking her.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why he's here. Yeah. So this is how they meet, and or he first gets his first glimpse of her. And again, Justice is now starting to worry because she's saying, "Hey, I saw a coffin here." There's no coffin when they go to check it out. When they go back to the room, the coffin's gone. So that's a direct ripoff of Frankenstein. Abbott Costello meets Frankenstein when they're hauling Dracula's coffin around the that underground area under the castle, and they're going around and around in the walls and stuff like that. Well, again, it's kind of like that. But they do find Julius's ear. One of the things about Julius being a ghoul is he's falling apart. The pieces of him start falling off. And the first piece to go was his ear. This suit. I mean, this is still the first night, I think.
Yeah.
So he's becoming he's really more of a zombie than he is a ghoul.
Yeah.
A ghoul is a thing that lives around cemeteries and feeds off of freshly dead bodies in the cemeteries. And they're kind of like vampires, but they're not, they don't have magical powers, mystical powers. And he's more like a zombie, kind of. But they call him a ghoul, or Eddie Murphy calls him a ghoul. He complains a lot, which is his shtick. Part of me was wondering, why did Chris Tucker not get this role? Because he certainly has that kind of feel about his character, and he complains a lot. And it's his shtick between him and Maximilian is Maximilian gets so angry that he uses his superpowers on him, to throw him around and stuff like that. And he gets really angry, and his eyes get yellow, and his teeth start getting sharp again. And one scene, he pulls his tongue out real far, almost pulls it out of his mouth. And deservedly so. I mean, he's just a pain. He's just an annoyance. And he's an idiot. Yeah. So they go to his house, where his uncle is now there. He's given his deposition. He's there at the house already, and they're lugging the coffin up to his room, and the uncle comes out. What the hell is his name? Silas? Yeah, Silas.
Silas.
Silas. You notice that is there tape on his glasses here?
Yep.
Okay. I thought that he might have done that after his first encounter with the vampire. Anyway, our first physical encounter. So anyway, no, evidently that's just a character thing that he has from the beginning of the film. I just didn't realize that. So the sun is coming up. So he needs to get in his coffin. So he throws money at Silas, Uncle Silas. And that pretty much smooths over the whole situation. Oh, well, you could go do whatever you want. And he's up in the rent already, It's $50 a night. And here we have a very strange scene where Angela Bassett is walking on the street by herself. She doesn't have her partner with her. Something is chasing after her. It chases her into a building. Something's trying to get through the door there. She opens up the elevator, and there she is. She is there, dressed in the vampire kind of garb. I'm not sure if it's her, if it's her mother, maybe.
I thought it was supposed to be her, but
Yeah,
could be your mother. But no, I thought it was her.
but she says that it was her in the coffin, so that I know that is her. But here she doesn't talk to this. She doesn't talk to anybody about this. It turns out to be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
There's a body strung up in the elevator, and then it comes at her, and then she wakes up, and she's all over the room. Very well acted scene.
Mm-hmm.
So at the station the next day, she's trying to tell Justice about it. He's like, I'm really concerned about you. Blah, 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 blah. They're sharing information. If I remember correctly, about...
A ghoul is a type of undead that feeds on corpses. So yeah, the movie goofed a little. Julius was a familiar.
Familiar. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, ghouls. I've seen different training films about ghouls, and nobody's ever said they're supernatural. They're just kind of creepy creatures. They do have sharp teeth. I guess you could say they're kind of supernatural. But they're really, unfortunately, there hasn't been a lot of material put out about ghouls. There was an episode of Tales from the Crypt. There's a movie called The Monster Club that we've done on this show where they talk about ghouls and Hume ghouls, and that's probably the most definitive picture of what a ghoul is. And they do crossbreed, and they're really good at throwing rocks at people and stoning people. They've got excellent aim in that film. But yeah, you don't see a lot of material on them, and there should be more, I think, because they're interesting. They're disgusting, but they're interesting. So we find out that Julius is in the station. He's got one of those Elmer Fudd hats on to hide the fact that his ear is gone, And he picks up a bug off the table and pulls a Renfield and eats it right there.
Yeah.
And then he pulls up that night in a limousine that he has stolen from a funeral. And I don't know. I thought this was a bit much. He had time that day, I guess, to get a vanity plate that said "RIP." Or maybe that was their version of a hearse, and it's got "RIP." I thought that was a bit much. Anyway, there's some back and forth between Silas and him, and his hand comes off when he's trying to wipe the car down. And of course, Silas notices something like that. It's hard to miss. And Maximilian comes out, and he's like, "Oh, you've done a good job." And he talks about stealing the limousine from the great funeral home, I guess,
Right.
or funeral. So now we got some back and forth in the car. Again, when he's driving and Maximilian is in the back of the car, oftentimes Maximilian gets angry with him. Maximilian has also pointed out earlier that he doesn't like mirrors. He's broken a mirror already. And he breaks the rear view mirror in the car with his magic. So they are going, Rita and Justice are going to see someone who is an authority. I can't remember what tip-off they got to go to this guy, Dr. Zeko. But he's played by Zakis Mokai.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, Joanna Dewey tells him, oh, yeah, because they had found something. Oh, they found the log of the ship, but it was written in an unknown language. So they sent it off to some expert, and that's how they got to this guy. Yeah.
So he's an expert of the language. Yes, that's right. So they're going to him to talk about that, and evidently he's expecting them. And he knows of Rita, and he gives her like a book. He's been waiting for her to collect it. So this guy actually, a lot of people don't probably know who he is. Um, Zakas Mokai. But if you're a fan of the movie The Wild Geese with Roger Moore and Richard Harris, Richard Burton, he is the guy that they're trying to save in Africa.
Oh, okay.
But he gets killed at the end of the movie. Most of them do. So yeah, he's the guy that they're hoping will rise up and take back over the country. And he's very good in that. He's pretty good in this too.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. There is a snake, a cobra, watching as they talk. And he says, you're going to have to, keep to your faith. And the snake breaks the glass and gets out. Now, I'm guessing Wes Craven is trying to make us think that that's Eddie Murphy's character, that's Maximilian. But it turns out it's just a snake that's in the club that's gotten out. And his character, Maximilian, shows up and he grabs the snake just before it goes to bite her. And there's a snake guy that comes up and goes, I'm sorry, this never happens. Which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie Murphy is charming, as Maximilian. He charms and he tries to get her out on the dance floor. And then Julia shows up and just screws everything up by just talking so ghetto about, how great Maximilian is. He did a hands-off job. Oh my God, this is so cringeworthy. What he says. And then, she's like, okay, so you're a player, huh? All right.
Yeah, it totally ruins the whole plan.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's just, again, it would have been a very short movie if he had got her out on the dance floor at that moment. So Justice shows up and he's like, hey, we got to go. We got a tip. Let's go. And this is where Maximilian pulls Julius's tongue because his tongue gets me in trouble all the time. Maybe I should pull it out. And it's just, comic shtick. So they go to her place to have coffee. And Justice likes Rita. It becomes more clear as the film progresses that he really likes Rita. And he doesn't want to be with anybody else but Rita. He's falling in love. And Rita has Nikki, a roommate. And oh my God, this girl, totally uncontrollable.
She's thirsty, as the kids say nowadays.
A new meaning to hold your tongue. There you go. If you don't hold your tongue, I will. See, I could have wrote that script. With country shape media's help. So yeah, Nikki is on the hunt. She is a hungry woman, like you said. And she likes what she sees. She actually goes after him and he goes, look, I gotta go now. She goes after him in the street and still tries to seduce him. And she ends up looking at his taillights. He's like, I gotta get out of here. I need a cold shower. So that's when Maximilian shows up, and he tells her, I think he's a fool for leaving you, that kind of thing, he finesses. He doesn't have to really finesse all that much. She is on the hunt for a man. What she got was a vampire. So yeah, he comes upstairs and they got this scene where Rita has to listen to them through the wall having incredibly wild sex, scratching clawing each other up, that kind of thing. It's vampire sex, so it's serious stuff. She gets really upset. She starts painting. We learned in the scene right before this that she's a painter and she paints things that she sees in her head, paints things that she sees in her dreams. And she's painting kind of a Christ tableau, and it's not finished yet, so you really can't tell what it is. So she's working on that. There's a lot of red paint flying back and forth, and then they cut back and forth between that and the sex. And he, of course, is going all vamp and werewolf. And here's the strange thing. For some reason, Wes Craven thought it would be interesting for us, the audience, to see blood dripping from the keyhole of the room. Of the room. Like, was so much blood flying in that room? Because the room is spotless the next day when she comes to check it the next morning. See? So, or did he just kind of take some of the blood over the keyhole and put it through? Just somebody might be watching for effect. I thought that one was not a great choice. It was a little over the top.
Yeah.
Was it even real? That's a lot. A lot of the times I said to this, is this real or is this not real? As I was watching this film. Because there's a lot of supernatural stuff going on that doesn't seem real. So she gets a note from Nikki, supposedly, but it was written by Maximilian, who's at the desk there naked. Eddie Murphy wanted to show his chest off. And it says that she's run off with somebody who totally, can satisfy her. She's run off to Rome, I think she says. So I guess in her mind, she's thinking, oh, my partner Justice decided to run off to Rome with Nikki. And that makes no sense because he's at work when she goes to work. I got nothing on that one. The keyhole oozing blood. Yeah. I just think it was a bad call.
Yeah.
Maybe Eddie Murphy was like, hey, I know. Why don't we put blood through the keyhole? Sure, you're the boss, Eddie. You fired everybody. Eddie Murphy was a producer on this, so they got to listen to him. So yeah, I think maybe that might have been a call not from Wes Craven, but he was kind of forced to do it. That's my feeling. I think he would have even said, that's a little much. Anyway, Eddie Murphy and Julius Orange Julius. They're going back and forth in the car again about her and her character, and somehow they figure out that she's probably going to go for some spiritual help at this time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just following her.
Okay. Well, there you go. Because they get there before she does. I think it's actually Julius that says, well, if I was in a situation where everybody's leaving me, I'll go to church. I think that's something like that happens. Anyway, so we see Eddie Murphy as his next character, which is the Reverend. Oh, hell, did I not write that down? Oh, Preacher Polly. There we go. Preacher Polly. And Murphy introduces himself as a vampire, and he attacks the preacher right there at his van out back. I'm not sure. Usually if you got a preacher in a van, he's not parked outside a church. He's parked somewhere where he can preach to people. Usually churches won't let them park in the back. What do I know? Anyway, so yeah, he comes out of the van and transforms into the preacher, and she goes around just in time to catch him coming out of the van. And she asked him for a little guidance. She tells him what the situation is that she's going through. And he's trying to sound like he's giving her good advice. And that's when they try to pull him inside the church.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the ramifications of the scene are very funny because they're trying to pull a vampire into a church, an unholy thing into the church.
Mm-hmm.
So that's funny. That's brilliant funny. And of course, when he gets to the front door, he's seeing crosses all over the place. The people all turn to look at him. And he starts to catch on fire. He starts to smolder at the door. So he's like, God damn! And he's like, such a goddamn good night. We should have one out on the lawn. We should have a nice little sermon on the mount out on the lawn. So they all go outside. He starts to give a sermon about how evil is necessary. And it's a very funny speech, about evil and why we need evil. It's necessary. It balances out, the good and lets us know that good is good when it's good. And he actually calls out one of his parachuters there saying he had a $2 whore. right in front of his wife and the whole congregation. What? He got a little hot in the collar. And the justice comes up to catch like the tail end of this, pun intended. And she's all on him about Nikki, and he's got lipstick on his collar, and it doesn't look good. And of course, Maximilian, as the preacher, catches on that and starts saying things to lead them into fighting. But they end up leaving, and it ends up raining on the parishioners. So they go back and forth in the street there, and she can't stay angry at him because he's justice and he's a nice guy. And he even knows, oh yeah, I'll get back in there. I know it looks bad, but I'll get back in there. So then we go to he's come to get her because they have a connection between the two Italian hitmen that were killed and a restaurant. So they're going there. And this is when Eddie Murphy's third character pops out. It's Guido. His name is actually Guido, and he's a Guido.
Mm-hmm.
And not a very good one because they're throwing him out for being an idiot. And Murphy's character drives up to the restaurant there, the Italian restaurant. And he sees that Julius has gotten himself a fake hand from a mannequin in a store window. And he's like, you're improvising. You might be my best ghoul yet. In this whole film, he's just trying to say things to keep his ghoul, his familiar, at bay, basically, to doing his bidding. And they kind of played on that in What We Do in the Shadows with the people that want to be turned into vampires eventually, as familiars. So... yeah, he does a lot of that here, but he makes Julius happy, and that's when Guido comes up. So this is funny because this actor, Kadeem Hardison, is having to play this scene with Eddie Murphy in two different characters now, back and forth. That must have been strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eddie Murphy puts the bite on Guido. So we go inside. There's a white cat on the table, a la Blofeld. Now, I honestly thought for a brief second, that might have been some famous actor like Robert De Niro in makeup, another Rick Baker makeup, because Rick Baker did all the makeup for this, and that's what got Rick Baker to do the makeups in later Eddie Murphy films, like The Clumps. So this guy's actually a veteran TV actor. He's done a lot of TV. He's done a couple of like bit parts in movies. But he's playing a real big kind of Godfather kind of character in this. He got a nice character here. And it's not a famous person disguised in makeup. That's just the way he looks, I guess. So Guido comes in now, and we know it's Maximilian. He punches out the doorman, comes in, holds a gun on everybody, takes Angela Bassett's character, Rita, as hostage. But she gets the one up on him. And he shoots the cat that doesn't like him. Because animals don't like vampires. Cats don't like vampires. There's a movie called Let Them In, I think it's called. But there's a great scene where a woman has been bitten by a vampire and she goes home, and her home is full is her husband and like 50 cats. There's a bunch of cats in her house. And the cats all attack her because now she's becoming a vampire. So it's well established in films that if you're a vampire, cats don't like you, dogs don't like you, and they're not scary. So he shoots the cat. So with that, Angela Bassett gets the one up on him. She gets him cuffed, takes him out of there. And we got some nice sticky shtick with the people flipping him off in Italian and stuff when he's leaving the restaurant, the Guido. Now, he wants to go with her to the police station, I guess, because he could have gotten out of that very quickly. But he didn't. He allowed it to happen because he wants to be at the police station with her for some reason. He wants more information, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're going back and forth about Nikki. Guido actually mentions Nikki to keep the fight going. And he notices a famous Van Gogh painting. I want to say the wheat field, crows in the wheat field, something like that. And it's her favorite painting, and he takes mental note of that while they're fighting. And there is a zealot straight from the folklore animals don't like. Yeah, yeah. So I know my stuff. Come on. I watch these training films all the time. I know my stuff. Been fighting monsters a long time. So Guido makes the zealot. She smacks Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Rita does. Because Guido upsets her to the point where she smacks him. And then Dewey comes out and puts her on probation for 2 days. She's like, you're on probation for 2 days. So now he knows, hey, I can get to her in the next 2 days. I've got her. He makes the zealot attack the cop that's got him in cuffs. And the cop looks around and he's already changed back into Maximilian. So who the cop doesn't recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he went that way. So Rita almost gets run over by a taxi cab. I wanted to think that Maximilian caused that somehow. It would have been nice if we'd had a scene of. It'd have been nice if we'd had a scene of like Julius in the taxi cab.
Well, I think that's who it's supposed to be driving, because you kind of hear somebody shouting. And I thought, well, I think that's Julius, but
yeah, they don't make it clear.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess they didn't feel it needed to be clear. So anyway, he saves her again. He jumps and gets her out of the way of the taxi, and she recognizes him as the player from the club. But he's like, I'm really sorry, my friend, about the other night. My friend was drunk, and she buys it. And now he's saved her life 2 times. So, and he's charming. He is charming. He says, "Oh, you're cut," showing great vampire willpower. Mm-hmm. And there's almost a kind of an erotic kind of where she licks her own blood. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing going on there. I think that was intentional. I think Wes Craven wanted that to be intentional. They wanted this scene to be like, Tom Jones, there's a lot of sexual tension between them there. So he's like, I'm hoping that you'll come over to my place for dinner. I think we have a lot in common. Mm-hmm. And she likes the idea now. So
yeah, but that's what's so great about it is that he says, yes, I'd like to have you over for dinner. And there's that double meaning, yeah.
I think Dr. Lecter did it first, but hey, whatever, it works. Mm-hmm. So Justice drives up to her house. He wants to try to talk to her, and he's practicing in the car what he's going to say. And at one point, he says something really stupid and angry, mm-hmm. And then he laughs it off. And she's right there across the street. Justice, what are you doing here? Oh. One of those moments. Awkward. And he says, well, I was going to try to see if I could, take you out for pizza or something. And she's like, well, I've got dinner plans already. A car's coming to pick me up. And then the limousine comes up. He goes, that's your car? And he says, you look great, because she does. She looks fantastic. Who would have thought on a cop's pay? Now, I would have taken one look at Julius and I'd be worried. Mm-hmm. Honestly, especially as a cop, I'd be worried because he really looks bad. He's looking worse and worse by the minute. So anyway, Eddie Murphy's character describes in narration that he had to use like just about every vampire magic in the book to make this place look like it does right now, mm-hmm. including, the painting that she loves. And he implies that it's the real one, which should be in a museum, right? Anyway, mm-hmm. she buys it. And he opens the wine with his finger. I thought that was a nice touch. Pops the cork out with his fingernail. And he serves her a nice rosé. Now Justice is going to check on Julius because Julius is pretty much connected to all of this. And he goes to his old girlfriend's house, and she pulls a shotgun on him. And then he says, I'm here looking for Julius. I'm a police officer. And she goes, oh, is he in trouble? And she smiles. He's like delighted, which was fun shtick. At the apartment, there's a nice view from that apartment. And they're looking at the night and the moonlight. And he goes, I want you to dance with me. And all through this film, he's saying, if I can just have one dance with her, I'll have her. She'll be mine. So he finally gets that dance. She's like, I'm not a good dancer. He goes, don't worry. He takes her dancing. He must be a very powerful vampire because he actually takes her cross off with his hand and throws it. And it doesn't burn him. And later there's a scene where Justice comes to see her, and there's a little like a scar on her chest where that cross used to be, which is kind of weird. And then he puts the bite on her. On a quest to get his future baby mama. That's right. He's seen it in the prophecies. He wants his future baby mama. He wants his vamp.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the moonlight is out there. It's a full moon, and he's put the bite on her. So now she's his. So he thinks. Justice goes to Julius's current house. I guess he found out from the girlfriend when he was living, and that's where he meets Silas. And Silas is not being cooperative. One gets the sense that Silas is trying to get money from him for information, which I think is funny because he'll even sell out his nephew if the price is right. But we don't get that far, I don't think, because he gets a call on the radio. They found a body, and he needs to go check it out. And he goes and he takes pictures of the body, and it is the tableau that Rita painted in her painting, and it's Nikki. Nikki is strung up just like the painting showed, and her throat's been torn out. And he realizes it. When he's taking the picture, he realizes it. So he goes to see Rita, and he tells her what the situation is. And Rita is as hungry now as Nikki was. And this is exactly what Justice has been wanting. Mm-hmm. And the fangs start to come out. She's starting to turn. She's starting to become a vamp. And she realizes it when she sees herself in the mirror start to fade. She's starting to phase out. So she runs. She runs away. Talk about a case of blue balls. My God, this is what this guy's been waiting for forever. And she runs out. She runs right over to Maximilian's, and evidently the spell is still on because it still looks great. And she gets past Julius, and here we see a different Maximilian. He's not a very patient vampire. He's been waiting a long time, evidently, and now he's starting to get annoyed, not just by Julius, but by the fact that she's whining all the time, and he knows this is, or he thinks he knows that this is what she wants. So he starts to get a little rough with her and starts yelling at her and pulling her over here. Yeah, this is what you want. You want the night. That's what you want. You can go back to your sorry little life at the police station. And then he takes her, she runs away. She goes up on the roof, and then of course, he intercepts her there. And he does a thing where he flies up in the air to show her, this is the power you can have, and you can live forever. Come on. The hell? Why are you arguing with me?
Right.
Most women would jump at the chance to live forever, and be able to fly. So you got to drink a lot of blood. Come on, you'll get used to it. Okay, so Justice goes to see Dr. Zecco. He believes now. He believes there's something going on here. Dr. Zecco tells him you're going to have to kill this vampire. And it's a vampire. And we find out that Dr. Zecco killed her father, who she never knew, because he was a vampire. And that's why she's half vampire. And her mother went crazy because of that. Mm-hmm. But she never finds that out. I made a note of that, mental note of that. If she had found that out, this film might have tipped in the other direction. That Dr. Zecco was the murderer of her father, whom she didn't know. She never knew. But because her father was a vampire and he got killed, her mother went crazy. and she had a half vampire kid. So yeah, he pulls out this mystical. I guess it's a wooden stake. It looks like wood.
It's a stake. Yep.
Yeah, but it's carved, all ornament. You know, a lot of ornamentation on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, "You're gonna have to kill him with this. Drive through his heart." So out in the park, we have an interesting cameo. Did you know who this girl was in the park?
No.
That's Jerry Hall from
Oh,
Mick Jagger's old squeeze.
yeah,
From Batman.
yeah.
The Joker's mall.
Right,
Jack Nicholson's
right.
Joker's mall. That's her. Anyway, when I was reading the credits, looking at IMDb for information,
Mhm.
to talk on the show, I was like, Jerry Hall? Really? That was her? So he tries to set her up for Rita, so Rita will feed. Once Rita feeds, she, as Dr. Zeko says, gives up her humanity, and she becomes a vampire. So he's trying to get her to bite, and she's like, no. And then he bites her, and she's like, no! She runs away. She runs to, evidently, somewhere near Central Park, there's a graveyard. Because she runs through Central Park and then into a graveyard. I didn't know. So we see him now as his vampire kind of self. Like he's so angry, maybe the magic's not working as well. So we see him as his, or maybe he just wants her to see him as he is, so she can accept it and become like him. I am not sure. But he's telling her, you need to feed, you gotta feed to live. And again, she runs away and goes into this cemetery, and she's picked up by the police.
No, she's picked up by Maximilian.
Oh,
But she can't walk in the church anymore because she's part vampire now.
Oh,
And she's saying the Lord's Prayer, and then she faints, and Maximilian comes and picks her up,
okay.
and takes her back to his place.
So how does Justice find out where this place is?
From well, he already knows that's Julius's apartment. That's
Julius's apartment. Okay, so
Yeah.
he knows it's Julius's apartment, but he just didn't get in time. Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
He couldn't get in because
all right.
Uncle Silas wouldn't let him in. But now they're offering up Silas as a sacrifice.
And this is a very funny scene, thanks to John Witherspoon. Yeah.
Mhm.
He comes in at the very wrong time. She needs to feed. And yeah, Maximilian's like, okay, feed on him. And she's looking at him very hungrily, and she's about to bite him when Justice jumps in. And no, this is not you, Rita. And we see her kind of vamping now. I mean, she's got kind of the Klingon thing going on with her head now.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. He does look like a Klingon. I'm telling you, it's a Klingon vampire. Klingons are vampires. That's what it is. So Maximilian tells Julius to fight him, and he pulls some, kung fu goofy moves, and he doesn't realize that Justice does have experience with, martial arts, and knocks him to the floor, and his eye comes out. His eye rolls under the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
Sticky stick.
Mm-hmm.
Not mutant, zombie sticky stick.
Yep.
Julius looking a little worse for the wear. Boy, I'm telling you, he's gotten so bad by this point. Even Silas is like, man, you gotta get away from this guy. So Maximilian pulls Rita out into a secret area where his coffin is. Julius figures it out. He goes to open the coffin, and Rita's in it. What am I seeing here?
Oh, the doctor, he comes in and stabs Maximilian.
Oh,
but
that's
stabs him in the stomach, and there's this whole, this is my
Dr.
stomach, this is my
Zeko
heart.
stabs him in the stomach instead of the heart.
Mhm.
And Murphy, that Murphy must have improvised this. He's like, this is where my heart is. Right here. This is it.
Mhm.
This is the stomach. Yeah, because we've never seen that in a vampire movie. The vampire's been stuck someplace else. He's a very cocky vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So he's about to kill Dr. Zeko, and she stops him, which is our first kind of foreshadowing or clue that she might still have a little humanity left in her. Justice, of course, fights Maximilian, and he's mopped up. That Maximilian mops up the floor with him,
Mm-hmm.
and she's watching. And
Justice steps on Julius's eye.
oh, that's right. That's right. That's what's at the bottom there. Yeah, I was trying to make out what was at the bottom. Is that a shoe?
Yeah.
So yeah. We have some shtick with Julius going, "Have you seen my eye?" And he steps on it right when he says that. And then John Witherspoon tells Dr. Zeko, or he tells Julius, she was looking at me like I was a tall, cold Colt 45. She was going to drink me like a Colt 45.
Yeah.
Funny.
It was the best part of the movie.
I'm telling you, they really did a good job when they cast him. Witherspoon was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny in his other movies too that he's done.
Oh yeah.
He's left a mark. All right, let's move forward. So yeah, this is where he opens the coffin, and Rita's in there, and Maximilian is over to the side, and Rita wants to bite him now, or so we think. She's really kind of ready to bite something. She's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he fights Maximilian, and he loses. He's getting thrown all over the place, and he drops the steak, the famous ornamental steak. And she says, "I want to feed on him." She's give him to me. I'll feed on him. And then she grabs the steak and puts it into Maximilian's heart. And that when they kiss, and then there's another painting that shows up of her kissing the vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And we're showed that picture again here when they kiss, and then she stabs him. Talk about the ultimate ex-girlfriend kind of thing. She stabbed me in the heart. But when you do it to a vampire, it's for good. Damn, we went over an hour again.
No.
That's work for me later. I gotta edit down. So yeah, he does the typical vampire. I can't believe you just double crossed me. Look. And he starts to react to his injury. Such a heartbreaking breakup. There you go. Such a heartbreaking moment, right?
Mm-hmm. And this, I mean, yeah, he looks absolutely like a Klingon in this one. This final makeup.
Yeah, the bat nose gets worse as the film goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got like a full bat nose now and the Klingon forehead. But he kind of changes back to looking like Maximilian again before he disintegrates, and his coffin runneth over. Evidently, it's the coffin that blows up when the vampire, in this anyway, when the vampire's killed, the coffin blows up because the coffin blows up the whole apartment there. And there's a little Disney kind of Tinkerbell light that comes out of the window showing that, vampires do go to heaven. And his ring falls to the floor. Again, that happens a lot in the Dracula movies. For some reason, the ring, and you see the ring as his demise, at his demise. So then we get the loving couple. They've survived, and they love each other. And she's no longer vamped out, which is good. The apartment is going back to looking like the apartment. They go out to the car, Silas and Julius, Julius looks like hell. I mean, he looks like absolute hell. And they get into the car, but he gets in the car and he goes, I'm going to start an all. You know, you got to admire the fact that Silas is willing to stick by him looking like that.
Yeah. Of course, the
vampire, here's your new bling.
Yeah. Of course, the liquor he's been drinking probably helps too. So.
Well, there you go.
He's always got this little bottle with him.
That's it. He's going to look worse in the morning, right? So he gets in the back. He puts the Dracula ring on, or the Maximilian ring on, and he metamorphosizes into a vampire. He's become a vampire somehow. It's not explained, but who cares? You don't like to see him like that. You like to see him. He looks all decked out. Now this could have been a television show. They could have gotten Kadeem Hardison to play, Julius the vampire in Brooklyn. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of material there. They could have got John Witherspoon back. Why didn't they go there? So yeah, and he even says a line that makes fun of Eddie Murphy's line from 48 Hours. There's a new sheriff in town because there's a new vampire in the town, and his name is Julius. And it looks like Silas is going to be his driver now.
Yeah, I got a feeling they set this up for a sequel. Like there was going to be a sequel with these two, but never happened. Or a TV show. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, again, I'm thinking a TV show would have been the way to go with this.
Yeah.
But there it is. So we get a shot of Brooklyn. Still the same as it was at the beginning of the film and the end of credits. And that is Vampire in Brooklyn, folks. So we hope you enjoyed watching this. Check out our other videos that are posted, archived on YouTube and Facebook at Cosmos Creative TV. Also on Twitch, if you watch us on Twitch. We got a lot. We're like over 200, I think now. I haven't checked the number lately, but I think the ring was cursed. Turns whoever wears it into a vampire. That could be. That could very well be. That's a good hypothesis, as they say. Thank you, Havoc, for keeping everything running forward like a well-oiled machine. Yeah, that Klingon vampire face, that's a face that only a mother could love. I actually got one in.
All right.
I haven't done that one in a long time.
No, you have not.
And next week, Blackenstein, for your pleasure.
That's going to be a winner.
We're going to have fun with that one because it is really, really, really a stinker. Again, we know how to kill vampires. Stake through the heart. Holy water, which was never mentioned in the film.
And just sunlight,
which wasn't put into play all that much in this film, and get them to walk into a church.
Nope.
Okay, that's one that we gained. In some films, like some of the Hammer films, running water will kill vampires, so they don't want to get caught out in the rain. So the whole scene with the preacher ending up in a rainstorm, that had potential for another vampire shtick. But anyway. That's it. Vampire in Brooklyn. Eddie Murphy playing several characters, which was his love. And we'll see you next time. Keep an eye out for those big Oscars. Until then.
Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, or else you may receive more than just nightmares.